It's the first match day of 2022 at Ashton Gate as Bristol City welcome Millwall to BS3. And we're now joined by two Millwall fans, Zach and TT. So we'll start with you first, TT. It's a new year, it's a new start for hopefully both teams, but how would you sort of rate Millwall's first half of the season as you head into the new year?
Very typical of a Millwall first half. We have games where you look, Sheffield United away is a prime example where you'd expect us to go and lose, and we pick up all 3 points. And then we go to Peterborough away and we're flying. They haven't scored for 5 hours and obviously we lose. Yeah. And they can score 2 goals in 5 minutes. So we are a team that defend well. We are a team that structurally set up, but we don't look like we're ever going to score many goals. So early goals against really do put us under pressure. We can get one, potentially 2, but other than that, we're in most games. But I'm pretty happy with the start to the season overall.
Yeah, and Zach, when Millwall usually come to Ashton Gate, they usually do bully us, and the game is very close, very tight game. It's only usually decided between a goal. Who's in that Millwall side of you that you think could cause a threat to Bristol City this afternoon?
Well, I think Tom Bradshaw, who has scored many of our last goals, probably Bristol City players would want to snap him if he's through because his finish is lethal. But you have Naki Wells up top. He's a very good player, so we just need to deal with you and maybe score a few goals, maybe even one to win the game.
Yeah, exactly. And a new year brings the transfer window. If Millwall want to push on up the table come the end of the season, where do you think Millwall need to sort of upgrade in this transfer window?
We need to upgrade certainly up front.
Same with Bristol City.
Yeah, pretty much every team in the Championship, but we've got such a good defence. We're so solid that if we could add a 20-goal man up front, there's every chance we can push off to the playoffs. Obviously, money, we're one of the lowest spenders in the Championship. We've got a very small budget. We've got very small wages. The likelihood is that we're going to lose Jed Wallace in this transfer window, and he's one of the best players in the Championship. So holding on to him actually will be like a signing, even though he'll go on a free at the end of the season. But we need to strengthen basically up front and the wide players. We've had Shea Ojo come in with a lot of wages. He's kind of got a mixed response from the fans. We probably would look to the loan market now that teams are out the League Cup and out of some of them out of Europe. They might look to Premiership clubs might look to loan to the Championship, and that's probably where we'll look to strengthen.
Yeah. And Zach, obviously the FA Cup is coming up as well. You've obviously got a massive game in Crystal Palace at the Den. With it looking unlikely that Millwall will be able to get playoffs, obviously there's still that chance, but it does look like. Do you think it would be good to go on a cup run this year and get some money into Millwall, which is obviously to every club has been affected over the past few years?
Well, my dream would be for Millwall to go to the FA Cup final, but this year with Crystal Palace as our starter, it might be a bit hard to even get off the first game. But we can beat Crystal Palace, I know we can, because our team has a special strength where if we go in the FA Cup, we start beating Premier League teams and we start playing well. So it would be brilliant for a cup run this season, but to win the league and to go up or to go through to the playoffs would be even better. So
yeah, that did happen a few years ago. I remember that. And then TT, realistically, where would you like to see Millwall finish at the end of the season?
Well, realistically, where I think we'll finish is probably where we are now, right, in 11th, and it really does depend on the transfer window. Yeah. But there's potential for Millwall. We could comfortably make the playoffs if we put a run together. If we turn some of the draws, we're one of the draw merchants in the Championship. Yeah. If we turn some of those draws into wins rather than defeats, we could push for the playoffs. But then if we turn some of those draws into defeats, there's a very good chance that we start hovering around the relegation zone. So the Championship is such a mixed game, which is why I never do a score prediction, so please don't ask me, because it could be 3-0 to Bristol City and it could be 3-0 to Millwall. There really is no rhyme nor reason with the Championship, other than the fact that certainly with Millwall, whatever you predict, it's going to be the complete opposite to what you think. So
yeah, exactly. Bristol City it's such a unpredictable league. But because you asked Zach, what do you think your prediction is? I won't ask TT.
Yeah, you can't ask me.
I don't like predicting, but I do have a strong feeling that Bristol City are going to win this game. Yeah. They're going to pull it off because Millwall don't really like winning 2 in a row. Yeah. It'll probably end up in a draw or a loss for Millwall, so.
Knowing our recent form, I wouldn't bank on a win, but we will see. Thank you very much, guys.
No worries. Good luck.
By Eugene from Copper 90, who's doing a challenge of 92 games for the whole season. So Eugene, first of all, how's the challenge been going? Obviously you're here at Ashton Gate today, but you were saying off air you've done about 60 grounds so far, and it's only halfway through the season, so the challenge is obviously going quite well.
Indeed, it's become more like a challenge than ever before, though, purely because of COVID. It was all, everything was a dream. I was living the dream, watching football 4 times a week, and then COVID happened again, and it's been hard. We've had 4 cancellations in 4. A last-minute plan to go to Oxford United yesterday. We completed it, so we're back on the track. But it's definitely a challenge now.
Yeah.
A lot of cancelled trains, a lot of cancelled games, a lot of mask wearing. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
I managed to persuade you to come down to Ashton Gate today. But let's talk about some of the grounds you've already been to. You've obviously been to some of our local rivals, Swindon and obviously the Gas. So what have been your favourite grounds to visit? Maybe not the best rating, but what were your favourite grounds to visit and some of your least?
Interesting question. I think least favourites that I've been I feel bad for Colchester United because they're a nice group of fans, but it's just these grounds that are so far out of town in like an industrial estate where there's nothing around there. It really does bring me down because you think there was no fans planned with that in mind, and even going to Oxford United yesterday, you go so far to go to a ground, and if the ground isn't that impressive, you think, why have you made it so difficult for people to come here?
Yeah.
I love going to Portsmouth, obviously.
yeah, exactly. I was going to say that.
Yeah, we were just talking about going to Millwall. That was very convenient for where I live. Some grounds I've just dreamt of going since I was a youngster. Like I went to Barnsley not long ago. It seems ridiculous, but it's just an interesting club with an interesting history. Mansfield Town, an amazing kind of history to a ground. There's not the most famous to go to, and then the same way Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United, both massive homes of football. So real bucket list grounds to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, and as I heard, you've done about 60 so far. What are the grounds you're looking forward to ticking off over the next few weeks?
Well, I'm very excited about Ellen Road, to see the famous Leeds fans in all their pride. I've seen them away many times this season, and they've been phenomenal. So I'm really excited to see them in their element. So I somehow managed seeing them with Portsmouth. So it's it's bucket list thing as well. So I can't stop thinking about that.
And for anyone else who wants to do this sort of challenge, how much does it cost? How much planning have you had to do to get all of them? And obviously you've done a lot in advance to actually put them out on Copper 90 social medias, but it must take a lot of planning and a lot of money as well.
Yeah, I have to shout out the team I've got working with me. There's a guy called Jamie who helps me to no end, and without him, I'm just a shell of a man. He's my brain, I don't know how it would be possible for someone. I don't even know how it's possible I'm doing it. Do you know what I mean? I'm very grateful and humble for the whole thing. And I'm just literally living in a dream cloud all the time, watching football 4 times a week. It's impossible. I have no way I could say to someone, this is how you do it, this is how you do it. You just have to, the gift of the gab, I guess, is the best thing. Be nice to people and then link up with people,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just try and be nice, I guess is the only advice I got.
And you're obviously doing 2 challenges in one, really, aren't you? Doing the go to every ground in one season, but you're also taking off the 92, which is every football fan's dream.
I think this is the incredible thing about it, that once I've done this, I'm kind of glued into it for life, because forever, whenever a new team comes into the league, I want to go to that ground.
Yeah, exactly.
And, God forbid Portsmouth don't stay in the lower echelons, I might have to actually make an effort to do that. But it's very interesting, because I'll never want to not be someone who has all 92 grounds done. So next season, whoever goes down and goes up, I'll be going to their grounds. I'm in it for life, and just slowly still ticking them off with Portsmouth as well, but also it'd be great to have that badge and say, I've done 92 grounds, what an achievement. And I've seen football around the world and missed out on so many interesting places in this country. It's such a nice time to actually go to these grounds that I've always thought, I'd love to actually see that. I'd love to go Carlisle or all these places that, Barrow I went to on a midweek game, and it was just, it was a mission to get there, but I was like, if without this I wouldn't have been able to do that, And they were just, it was an incredible ground. It's the whole area is surreal, it was real.
Yeah, I'm trying to take 92 as well. I think about 20 or 30 with Bristol City, so I'm not doing too badly, but hopefully I'll be able to take that off. But by the time I'll probably be at 30 maybe. But you're in a very lucky position to be able to do this now, aren't you?
Indeed, yeah. I do count my blessings, pinch myself. I mean, it's not all flowers and pies, but most of the time it's incredibly pleasurable, do you know? Yeah.
How hard is it to do it in this time though, with obviously COVID? Has that made it any harder, or is it just still the same old challenge?
I think that's added a level. It's made it more interesting, because I think if it was plain sailing the whole time, it's kind of a bit of a, look what we can do, whereas this is actually a challenge now. It's like, I was on a train to Wolverhampton versus Chelsea, and it was like, the train was delayed by something like 3.5 hours, and then 3.5 hours on the way back, and I thought, what are we doing? And the game was a 0-0 draw, and you think, I'm not I'm not this fond of, but I'm not fond of either team. And you think, oh, that was something.
Yeah, exactly.
At the same time, I'm like, I'm watching a Premier League game. It was an amazing thing.
And then today, Bristol City versus Millwall. It's a neutral. What's your prediction?
Well, it's all to play for. Both very similar positions in the league. I think both have had quite a, not to be rude, but quite a poor run recently.
Yeah.
So New Year, both chance to prove itself. Being
Exactly.
in the home support, I would rather watch Bristol City win today.
Man. Thanks very much.
And I'm scared of Millwall, so yeah.
I'm joined by Alex, an Ipswich fan who's come to Ashton Gate today as a neutral. So first of all, Alex, you run your own YouTube channel and you've been ticking off the 92 over your career so far. You've been to Arsenal recently, obviously Ipswich, obviously away games with Ipswich as well. Why have you chosen to come to Bristol City today and how far are you off that 92?
I think I've done about 60.
That's very good.
Ipswich was supposed to play yesterday on New Year's Day, but it got called off. There's a lot of games being called off because of obviously you know why. So yesterday I went to Arsenal Man City, which is probably one of the best games I've ever been to. Came today because my mate lives in Bristol. I used to go to uni here, so we thought we'd come up here for the weekend and go to the Bristol game. Yeah.
And Ipswich recently, you're obviously in League One.
Yeah.
You're looking to get up here into the Championship next season.
I don't think it'll be next season. We're sort of in the phase where we're rebuilding our squad. Paul Cook obviously came in, and he's not obviously our manager anymore. We've got Kieran McKenna, who was a Man United first team coach. He's had one game so far against Wickham and we won it, and I'm confident. I know it's a risky appointment, but we've been playing some nice football. I think next season will be the season we go up. Yeah.
And obviously today's game, Bristol City Millwall. Have you been to Ashton Gate before? Ipswich are in the
I did.
Championship.
I came, must have been 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It was when your stadium was sort of being
it's changed a
rebuilt.
lot, hasn't it?
It's
What do you think of it
nice.
now?
I like it. It's nice. It's odd how one stand's massive and then it gets smaller.
Yeah,
But I do like it. It's nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Millwall, we're not their fans alike, don't we?
yeah.
Hopefully it'll be tasty.
Do you reckon it will be today?
Yeah, I think you're going to win.
Do you? What's your prediction?
2-1 City. But I think Millwall fans might get a bit rowdy.
Really?
Yeah.
I do think it'll be a 2-1 win. I hope so, because we went on and off form here.
I did have a look at the table. You're 18th.
18th,
Millwall are 11th.
Yeah, they're 11th.
But in the Championship and League One, anything can happen.
Yeah, I was talking to a Millwall fan earlier. This league's so unpredictable that the old EFL is so unpredictable, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah, mate. When we got relegated, I don't think. Well, we were expecting it, but Ipswich, big club, aren't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, mate, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Exactly that, mate. Thank you very much.
That's all right, mate.
He plays for Bristol City and he's fucking dynamite. Andi Weinmann. 1-0. Great ball from the far side. The most blatant penalty you ever see. Millwall have a penalty. Eric Crowley threw a guy, I think it was Towler, and blatantly took him out. Silly penalty. It's a silly penalty, yeah. Only,
Come on, O'Leary. Come on, Max! Go on, Max. In a matter of minutes, we're now losing. Same old Bristol City.
Goal for Millwall, scored by number 23,
Respect Benica Fabian. Well, 2-0, 2-1.